Hey everyone, welcome to Socially Awkward, the webcast where we cover 5 topics in social media marketing in 5 minutes or anything else that's related to the digital media world. Today we're back from our headquarters at Inside Social in Seattle, Washington. I'm Joey Kotkin, CMO and co-founder, and back with me is Brewster Stanislaw, CEO and co-founder. As I said, 5 questions in 5 minutes, and we'll get started right now. So the first question is, it was an announcement that the UK intelligence was gathering social media data basically on every single resident in their country based on the fact that it was more or less public communication. What do you think this means for privacy in general?
The UK is not the only one that's doing it. What I think it really signals is this privacy, at least on the web, doesn't exist. It's a safe assumption to assume that anything you're putting out in the digital world, it can and will be seen by others than the government, and not just governments, but other people. And I think that's a perspective that people have to think of when they think about creating content and putting it on the web. I thought another interesting part of that announcement was actually that they were able to look at people's Google searches, right? It's where we express intent. It's very much one thing to search for how to make a bomb, but it's another to how to do something deviant, and where do you draw the line for the government? And I think the truth is there is no line anymore.
Yep, and the line for this question is over. So next question is about Pinterest. So we're hearing a lot from them on the business side of things and their ad units and their API and everything else. Most recently, they announced that they're releasing these promoted pins, but do it yourself, so targeted at small and medium businesses. What does this mean for marketers?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's initially targeted at SMBs, and I think it'll be a powerful tool for them to be able to finally have a socially visual marketing platform. But I think what's really interesting is that it's a CPC model, and I think it's sort of the Trojan horse that Pinterest will use as a CPC model for much bigger brands and e-commerce players. I really look at Pinterest as a direct response platform. It's one where consumers go to express intent, oftentimes aspirational intent, and it's really great to get them to convert off of that. So I think you'll see Pinterest use this as an experiment to ultimately launch CPC-based ads for much bigger customers.
Nice, the Pinterest Trojan horse. I like it. So moving on. Cool announcement from Tesla this week. Elon Musk very symbolically pulled all the patents off the wall at the Tesla office. Essentially meaning that they're open sourcing all their technology, trying to get more people building, these very eco-friendly technologies in cars. What do you think this means?
So I think it's a really interesting move, and as a Tesla shareholder, I find it extra interesting. But I think what he's really trying to say is that he really, really does care deeply about climate change, and that Tesla can't solve that problem alone. And I think he wants to increase the pace of change in automobile manufacturing, ultimately in the use of electrical power. And I think at the same time, he perceives of an ancillary benefit. If there are more companies building electric cars, there's going to be more charging stations, and it's ultimately going to benefit Tesla. I think another approach they could have taken, rather than open sourcing, would be to try and build a platform, a Tesla platform, one on which other companies could actually build upon. Think about a series of, electrical charging APIs, and I think that would have ultimately accrued more value to shareholders.
Nice. I like the idea of a platform, but we're out of time for that one. So we all know that Tumblr was acquired by Yahoo for $1 billion+. And we saw an interesting announcement this week where Tumblr ads are going to be recreated natively on other Yahoo properties. Obviously, with Yahoo owning Tumblr, that's not really surprising that they're working together on this. But what do you think this is more meaningful as far as the native advertising?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a really, really strong signal that native advertising is the future. And I think it's clear that Yahoo understands that Marissa Mayer gets that, and I think that we've seen that display advertising is not powerful. What's really powerful is really strong content that I interact with the same way I'm interacting with content that isn't an advertisement, and finding new and creative ways to make that the part of product and content consumption experiences. And I think that's what Yahoo's trying to do, and I think we'll see more and more of that across all social channels. FBX is really successful on the sidebar, but I think you'll see more and more native advertising experiences there as well.
Cool. So we're in the middle of the World Cup. It's the enormous worldwide event, and it's also the most socially advertised event in history. Why do you think that is? What are the different things coming into play that make that the case?
Well, first of all, I want to say go USA,
Yeah.
but I think that's the case because it's probably the most important event that happens globally, period. You know, I mean, we have kind of a U.S.-centric approach. We think about the Super Bowl, but really the World Cup is the most important thing that happens. And the fact that it also takes place over 6 weeks lends itself to campaigns versus the Super Bowl, which is kind of in a moment. So you can really kind of gear up and build things into that. And sport is very social. It makes sense that that's a platform through which we share. We watch games with our friends and with one another, and it makes sense to share content the same way.
Yeah, 6 weeks of live events, which are incredibly social. So, departing question, U.S. versus Portugal this weekend. Result?
U.S. draw, lose to Germany, advance in the second seed, and then win the cup.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
All right. Thanks, everyone. That's Socially Awkward. 5 questions in 5 minutes. If you have any questions that you want us to hit on, you can tweet at us at inside_social and give the hashtag Socially Awkward. Thank you.